Hi guys, welcome to DevOpsSchool. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Git. Git is a free and open source distributed version control system which tracking the changes in source code during software development with speed and efficiency. It is designed for coordinating work among programmers and used to track changes in any set of files. After going through this session, I promise you that the concept and understanding of the Git will be absolutely clear to you. But before we begin, let me inform you few things about us. DevOpsSchool is one of the leading platforms which offers DevOps, cloud and containers technology training and certification programs for freshers and established professionals who wish to update and consolidate their skills in the dynamic IT scenario. We ensure that the training solutions are delivered by highly experienced domain experts with practical working experience in various verticals. You can join our all training programs globally through online platforms, and if you're looking for classroom workshop, then we have regular batches available in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Check out the dates and enroll with us for our upcoming batches. For more info, link and contact details are mentioned in the description below.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to D drive. I'm going to create a directory that's called todayx, and I'm going to get into the directory todayx. And now this directory is empty. You can see on my screen. Let me clear the screen. Now I'm going to create a repository using the git init, and I'm going to add few files in it, which is like touch, and then I'm going to add a few files like file1.txt, file2.txt, file3.txt, file4.txt. and then how do I edit all these files together at once? Ganapriya, can you tell me the commands? Sai, can you tell me the command? How do we add it?
Yeah, it's git add and dot.
file1.txt.
Yes, but I want to add it all together. So dot. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going to commit it -m and adding first file. Okay, so I just did the first commit, and one more thing I'm going to include in this is git config, which is important. Okay, so I'm going to talk about. Okay, so I've added, let me do this commit again. So I need few commits. So what are the files I have? Added file 4, so touch file5.txt, and then git add dot git commit -m another commit. Done. And I'm going to do another one commit, and this time file 6. Done. So I've got the 3 commits, and as you can see that you want to visualize this using the git k command, just type it and see that I have a 3 commits, 1 2 3. Okay. So now what we are going to do is I'm going to try first thing which I ask you. I'm going to show you the branching and merging. Okay, so as part of this branching and merging, how do you create a branch? How do we create a branch? So before that, I would like you to show you how do we list out all the branches. List out all the branches. Okay, so the command is git branch to list all the local branch. To list all the local branches. Another command is git branch -a to list all the branches, and here we say local, and then here we say all. So basically Git has two kind of branches. Okay, and guys, whenever you get confused, please ask me the question. One is a local branch, another one is a remote branch, and I'm going to help you to remote and local branch. So as I said, to list out all the branch, I use the git branch. So I am going to git branch, and I have only one branch. But if I type git branch -a, which is for the listing it out all the local and remote, still it shows master because you have no remote branch. We have not done push, pull, fetch, and clone, and you will get the remote branches only once you do the push, pull, fetch, and all that stuff. Okay, so that's all about it. So now what we have it, well, you have only one branch, you can see it here. So I'm going, and you can see there's one asterisk sign which is against it, which is, that means that you have checked out to this particular branch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new branch from the master. So taking all the source code from the master, and I'm going to create a new branch. So how do we do that? The command is git branch hyphen and the new branch, and I'm going to create a branch called uh, uh, fee1 branch. Okay, so now if we do this, now we have got the two branches. So now you have decided to work on the fee1 branch. So how do we do that? We need to check out fee1 branch. Now if you do this, now you have asterisk sign, see that the move has moved to fee1 branch. That means I have checked it out. So now I'm going to work on this guy. So fee1.txt git add dot git commit -m fee1 commit done. Now I have committed here git log -- online, and you see it here. I have in the fee1 branch, and you can see it from here also. Okay, this one here also. So I have a 4 commits, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you do that git checkout master branch, and I've got into the master, and now if you do this, you have 3 commits. So you have a more commits in the fee1 branch. Why? Because I just did checkout, and I did some additional check-ins, and that's the reason I have a fee1.txt. But if you do the master, which I'm doing it, and fee1.txt is not there. Why? Because I did not merge it till now. So what has happened? So now I want one of the commits which fee1 fee1 branch has is, which is fee1.txt. Okay, so this is the way we create a branching. Okay, now you want to do what? You want to create a branches and merges all at a time, same time. So there's a shortcut is git checkout, and I'm creating a new branch now. Git checkout -b, b for stand for the branch, and this is fee2. So I'm going to create a branches from the master to fee2 branch. Okay, so now if you see there, you have checked out by default. So there are so many ways in Git you can do the same operation, and there are many shortcuts are there, so you can do that. So till now I've got the 2 branches, 1, 2, and master, 3 branches altogether. Okay, so the thing is, right now if you see the difference between the master and fee1, so let me show you. First of all, I get out to the checkout to the master, and then clear the screen, and then get diff, and then fee1, and now have a difference between the master branch, which is the current branch, which is here, and then fee1 is this one of the text file. Okay, that's the only one text file. So what you have to do, you have to merge it. Okay, so you want to check it out, you have to merge it. So before that, I would like you to show the view what you have it of the fee1 branch through GUI. So fee1.txt git k, and now you see that 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here 3 commits you have it, and then it got created a fee1 branch, and again fee2 branch again is got created from the master actually. Okay, but this view is for the fee1 branch, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is the way you have to understand this one. So these 3 commits you have got it in your v1 branch, and in the 4th commit you have got it which is in the v1 branch, which is not there in any other branch. Okay, so this is the way mapping can be seen, and there are many more tools we can you have it. So we'll go slowly and then see that. So now what we are doing it, we're going to merge it, because master is having v1 is having one which is master is not having, and this kind of merge we call it fast forward merge. So if I show you, this is you have a master branch 1, 2, 3, and after that you created a v1 branch, so we got a new commit which is here. So by default this has come, so now you have to merge from here to this one, and this is called fast forward merge. Whenever there is no updates on the top of master and it's a one-way merge, then this is called a fast forward merge. Why? Because this is not here, you don't have any commit, extra commit, so this merge is become a very easy merge. Okay, so this is fast forward merge. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm into the master, I'm going to merge, and the branch is v1, done. So now there was no conflict, it says fast forward merges happen. Now v1.txt, you can see that. So this is the how we create a branch and merging. Okay, any questions, guys? Any question?
Nothing from my side only.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about this one. So there are two kind of branches. You can see by using git branch -a all branches, and you can create using the git branch and branch name, and you can merge using git space merge and then new branch name. So this is the way you can do the branching and merging. Okay, now let me talk about the git config. Git config. So there are 3 places in git we store the changes. What are those places? One places we call it system config, another place we call it a global config, another one places we call it local. So system config, the configuration file gets stored in the git installation directory. Okay, git installation directory. In the global, this gets stored in the user home directory. Okay, and then local configuration gets stored in the location which is a .git directory. Okay, so now I'm going to show you user home where you can have this file. So the file is this we call it a global. You can see there's a file called git config, which is this is a file which is based on the global configuration. Okay, and then if you see there's one file which is cd.git start.explorer. This is my repository, and here if you see this one file config, that's your local repository. Okay, so there's a 3 places where git store the changes. Okay, these are these places, and this you can find in the git installation directory system. So now how do we add a configuration in git at the system level? So command is git config --system user.name. Okay, I'm just putting the name, and then my name is Rajesh system. I am going to put the same direct name here, which is at the global level. So and which is global and user global, and I'm going to set the same name here at the local label, and I'm not going to put it anything. Okay, this is called user local. So now I'm going to set it. All these 3 commands I'm going to run it on my command prompt. Let me clear the screen here. Global system set global set local set. So basically you have set your name user.name three places, one at the system label, one at the user home location user label, and then another one is the local label. How do you see it? So that to see that which one is set at the global label, you type the git config -- system -- list, and now it will show you what are the files you have added at the system level. And now you see there I had added my Rajesh system, which was a username at the system level, along with some other environment variable which is pre-existed, and we have it. Okay, now how do we see the user directory? So here we see that global list. Okay, so now I'm going to show that here. Let me clear the screen. Now you can see this Rajesh global user.name. Okay, so this is set in where? So your user home. So if you want to check it out, git config, here it is, user name Rajesh global. Okay, so now next thing which you're going to see that local one. So local, you know that always you can see in your .git directory config file, and this is your config file, and you're going to see it here. And now you see that username local. So basically in Git you can store the configuration three places. You can also create aliases. So how do you create aliases? It's the same way that you create a configuration file. Okay, so you're going to store the three places. So what is the advantage of this storing the three places? So something which you want to apply at the repository level, you set it at the repository level. That's the local. Something you want to set at your user label, you set it at the global label. And something you want to set at the system level, then you set it at the system level. But what will happen once you apply the same environment variable to all these places? Which one will be used? So basically, which priorities is given first to the local, second priority will be given to the user home global, and then least priorities will be given to the system. So remember, whenever you are setting the same environment variable, it will be given the priorities first local and global and then system. So this is the way we set it the configuration. Okay, any questions now here? Any question? Anandita, Banapriya, Navneet?
No, Rajesh. I need to do practice and get one more time.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk.
I have a question, but in real life, what exactly which kind of variables we store in the local and I understand in the global level, but not in the local level.
Yeah, so real life is something like that. System, if your organization wants to, if your company wants to set some variable, so everyone can use the same variable. So you can set the system label. User, that's called global, you have your own preference. For example, Anandita she is using Vim editor. Vanapriya is using Notepad. Navneet is using Notepad++. Sai is using TextPad. So you can set it up your own editor at the global level. But in a local level, suppose repository level, suppose Anandita is working on two different repository. So and these two repository, your email IDs are different. Okay, name is different, or maybe some slightly change, or maybe some other parameters are different. So in those scenario, you cannot set it at the local level. So it's completely conditional upon the requirements. You can set it wherever you feel like that. So any of the places you will be able to access it. But the only thing is like priorities will be given most to the local then global, and then lastly system. Make sense?
One more question that is that we talked about the fast forward merge. So what are the other kind of merges?
I'm not able to hear you. Can you tell me loudly?
Yeah, we talked about fast forward merge. That is, if something added in the next branch extract, then it does the fast forward merge. So what other kinds of merges are there?
What other kind of?
Other kind of merges.
Okay, yes. So your question is what are the other kind of merges we have it? So one of the popular merges what we have it in Git is fast forward merge, but we have many other merges which we call it a three-way merge, and which I'm going to show you in the rebase. There's one more kind of merge which we have it like cherry picking, which I'm going to show you those stuff. Okay. Okay, so now let me do it undoing the thing. So before me doing the undoing the things, I would like you to show one images. Basically, I would like you to remind that images so you can understand what I'm talking about. And if you look at this image, and you must have got this in the fundamental class, which is you have in Git, you have working directory, staging area, and repository. So basically you are working with the working directory, and if you want to move to the staging area, then you use the command called git add. And once you are working in the staging area and you want to move on to the repository, that files and directories or any changes, then you do the commit. And that is how we work in the Git. Okay. So you remember this graph, this flow? Any confusion here? Any confusion, guys, on this graph?
No, this is clear to me.
No.
Okay. So now remember when we talk about the undoing the change, basically I am doing the undoing the change on the based on that. So the situation is first situation is how to get rid of the file. Get rid of the file from working directory. Working directory. Second situation is how to get rid of the file, how to send the file from the staging area back to working directory. To how to send file from staging to working directory. That's the second situation. And the third situation, and you know that you cannot undo the things on the repository. So basically you have to do the revert. So that means how can we revert the changes in repository in repo? So this is a three scenario I'm going to show you. So I have a repository and I am into the which branch? I am into Git directory. I'm into the master branch, as you can see it here. Okay, so now I do the git status and I have nothing to commit. So let me do ls and I have a file 6, which is the last file in my repository. So I'm going to create a file 7 actually, file 7.txt. And now let me clear the screen, and then the moment I run git status, I see this file is in my working directory. Why? Because I can see this is untracked file, and it says if you want to track it, then you have to use the git add. That means this file is in working directory. So now I have to send this file out of the working directory and get rid of it. So you have two things: either you manually delete this file and you will get it, or either you ask the git to delete this file, and that is the command is git clean f and then file name or the directory or the current location, and it will delete the file. So now this file is not there. So using the git clean, you can get rid of the file from the working directory. But what happens once you move that file to staging area? So again I created that file and I have this file, and now I'm going to move this file to staging area. So I just moved this file using the git add command, and now we can see this a new add, and now it says adding need to be committed. But the second scenario is like how to send the file from the staging area to working directory. So the command is git reset and then file 7.txt and then git reset. So using this command, you have sent that file from the staging area to working directory. Okay, so that's the second situation. Done. And from here you can get rid of the file as you want it. Now talking about the third situation, which is like reverting in repo. So how do we revert in repo? So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to add it and then we're going to commit, and this is your write commit, and you're going to add one more commit which is like touch wrong.txt git add git commit -m adding wrong commit. Done. Now if you see that the table which is have it one line, and now I have a right commit which is F1 and I have a wrong commit which is 6D. I realize this 6D where I have committed, that was the wrong commit, that was not supposed to be there, and that is creating a trouble on my source code. So what do? We'll have to revert it back. So revert it back, how it will happen? So if you want to go back to this guy, then you have to revert back this guy. So how do we revert back? Get revert and then 6D. Done. It will ask you what message you want to give as part of this revert. Done. So now if you do this log one line, now by logic you have reverted back this one and you have moved to this one. So this one and this one should be same. So let's verify using the git diff command. You can diff between the two checksum, and then you can see there is no diff in between these two commits. That means it's the same. But if you diff between the A3, which is the most recent, and the wrong commit, which is 60, you have this different, which is wrong.txt. So that means I have reverted back successfully. Okay, so this is the way git clean -m -f and then git reset and git revert. Using this command you can undo the changes on your repo. Any questions on it?
Let's say we don't want to go to the just previous commit, we want to go to some other commit, want to revert to some other commit. So how to do that?
Can you come again, Banapriya?
See,
Can you come again?
if you want to revert back, so we are giving the option like git revert and then the commit ID. What it is doing, it is taking to the previous commit. But let's say we are not willing to go to the previous commit. We are going even the commit which was done before.
Yeah, so it's the logic is same. If you want to go to the 8D, you have to revert back this one. If you want to go to EE, you have to revert back to this one. If you want to go to this one, you have to revert back this one. Okay.
No, did not get. Let's say I want to revert the last commit to the to the commit that is highlighted. So is it possible?
So you want to commit, you want to revert back to this base one?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
say
So
the last commit want to revert.
same concept. If you want to go to the F9 where I had added few files, file 4, you have to revert this guy. So I'm going to revert this guy, WQ, and now if you do that ls, you have, look in just a second, git log one line And now, so this one you have committed and this one should be same. So let me see, git diff git status. Okay, just a second, git show. You have added 5 file and get revert, git show put file. So this is a better idea in this situation. What you're going to do is, if you have something like this, then you going to check out this guy. Yeah, this is better idea. Checkout is better idea. Okay, because what is happening, let me show you here. Now you have got it, everything wiped it out. Okay, but log, and then here you start working and you commit or whatever it is. But what is happening here is git checkout master, and once you git log hyphen online, and if you have committed this one, so remember git show, you reverting E3, which is here. So whatever the data you have in E3, you should not be able to see this. So what is the data you have it? E3, let me show you. So E3 has a file 5. So do we have a file in this? Let me verify. You have no file 5 here. So you have reverted back in that perspective. Make sense? Banapriya?
Sorry, I could not hear you.
So I said, as per the log, in this guy you have a file 5. So you reverted back this file. You want to get rid of the file. So in this file you reverted back, and I got the new commit, which is B801. The file has been gone. So this is the one way. But there's another way which I showed. If you want to get into some other things, then you can also do that git checkout, and then you create a new branches based on that, and then you can proceed further. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so now this is what we do in git undoing. Now next topic is git ignore. So git ignore is not any commands actually. This is a tool actually. So what happens normally, this is your workspace, and let me check out. Okay, let it be. What happens, this is your workspace, and in this you do the coding, compilation, and number of other things. So what happens after the coding, you generate a lot of files, which is your binaries, some temporary files, some log files, and many more things. So while doing it, there's a chance it's like it get added to a staging area, and it might get committed also by some developers. To avoid that issues, you use the tool called git ignore. So how do you use it? So assuming that you have one directory which is a build, and I have inside the build I'm having few files which is created some output, but now by mistake it can happen, like some over the period of time this get added to my repository, and it will be create a problem for everyone. So how do we do that? I don't want to see these files, and similarly this directory, another directory can be there. So what you're going to do is you're going to create one file that's called .git ignore. Okay, and inside that you're going to put this build directory. That means you're asking Git to ignore the directory. And now if you do the Git status, the directory is not there. Again, you can see this file, so you can include this file also to ignore list. Same file to ignore list. And then Git status. So this is the way you can also ignore the files and directories which you don't want them to see in the Git, but you would like to have in your local repository. Okay. Any questions on this? Any questions?
Right, this again in the reward, let's say we do not want to, and we have committed any file, and we want to get back that file to the staging and working directory. Is there any way?
Your voice is breaking, Vanapriya. Can you be a little bit loud? I mean, loud or near to the mic?
Rajesh, let's say we have done some wrong commit and we do not want to revert to the previous one. We want to get it back to the staging area or to the working directory. Is there any way that we can do that?
Yeah, so we have a few commits, which is few commands, which is git reset. I'll show you that one in some time. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to show you cherry picking, which is our next command. Cherry picking is one of the way in you can cherry pick. So for example, git log. Let me clear the screen. Git log -- online. And I have so many commits here in this my master branch. But if I check out the v1 branch which I created last time, and now if I do the log online, I have only these many commits. So suddenly I decided I am working on the v1 right now, and I decided I am going to take one of the commits from this guy, and this which will be the commit 6D242A2A. Do you have this commit? I think no. 6D248A82 is the one commit where I added wrong.txt. Okay, so I decided I want this guy that commits in my v1 branches. Okay, so that process, like you don't want everything. If you merge again with the master with the v1, then you will get everything, but I don't want everything. Just I want only one commit, only one checksum. So how do we do that? That process is being called as cherry picking. So you'll have to do the cherry picking using the cherry-pick command, and then I'm on this one, and then enter. Done. Cherry picking is done. Spelling mistake is done. And now if you do this git online status, now you have got it here. Okay, so that is the way you can pick the one which you wanted and merge it automatically. So that's the power of it. Okay, any confusion, any questions here? Any question? Okay, next command is stash. Stash is the command in something like this. Let's say you are working on the master, or let's say you are working on the v1 branch, and as of now you have nothing open up. So let's create few files. Touch. I'm going to create few files. So now git status, if you do that, you see there's 4 files. Git add, this one and this 2 files. So suddenly what has happened, these are the new files. You are working on the V1 branch, and suddenly your manager comes and says, dude, you have to move back to the master branch, and there's some urgent fixes, you have to do that. So now you have to check out the master branch. But if you do the check out the master branch, there are chances like you might miss some of the new files and the files which you have it. And I have to create one more file, which is touch, this one. Okay, it's anyways 4 files, we don't need nothing. So you will miss these 4 files. There's a chances if you check out that other, and if you start purging. So in order to save these 4 files, you want to do stash. So that is called stash. Git stash, enter. So I want to, before moving to the another branch and start working on it, I just stash it. So it's saving all these changes, whatever I'm having, to temporary things. So now it has saved it. So how do I see how many stash I have it? You can do a stash add many times. So stash and list. And I have a 1 stash. Now suddenly I have decided, okay, let me add few more files. Touch. Okay. Now you add it. Git add, and now git status. Now you have 3 more files, so you're going to add stash 1 more time. So last time I added 4 files, this time I added 3 files, and now list. Now you have a 2 stash, and now you can move back to the check master branch and do whatever the work your manager said, and then complete it, and then you get back to the V1 branch. Okay, and now you decide which file you wanted. So you have a 2 stash which you did it, and which file you wanted. So if you want this stash 1, so git stash, remember git status, if you do that, those files are not there. So git stash, apply, and then 1. And now you have got this file. See it here, you got this. So this is the way you can save your working copy temp for the temporary before moving and checking out to other branches and start working. So this is one of the way to do that. This is called stashing. Any questions on this stashing?
What is that stash add and within that one bracket?
Banapriya, again your voice is not coming clear to me. Can you be near to that?
Yeah, again, in the command that git stash apply and then stash at the rate, what does it mean? At the rate and then within curly braces and all.
So this is the stash which you backed it up, and that backed it up with this data. So apply means it will get the file which you had backed it up last time.
So get the files back every time we will have to write this command.
No, it's just a temporary. Earlier you worked on the master, now you back to the V1, you want to get that file back. You stash it, you got it, and now you start working on it. So it's temporary location.
No, did not get it. Could you please tell it?
It's like this. You are working on this file. These files are in staging area, okay? These files in staging area. Now suddenly you have to move back, and you probably have to work for some other changes. Okay, remember last time I did 3 stashing, one time I did 4 stashing. So you want to move back the workspace, and remember you have only one workspace which you can move it. So now what has happened, let me do one thing. You have, what is the files you have? We have 4 files. Suddenly your manager says now you don't have to work on these files. You have to work on some different requirements. So are you going to lose it? You cannot commit it because Sahab didn't work. So are you going to lose it? Of course not. So in that case, what you're going to do is you're going to stash it. Stash means create a temporary location. And the moment you stash it, that will go out of your status. And now you see that earlier before stashing it was there. Now it's gone. Now you start working on it. Anything. Touch. You start working on it, and you got the new files, and you completed this new file using git add dot, and git commit -m, done, git status, done. So you completed the managers, whatever the new work you got it. Now you want to get the older copy which you were working. So you go to the list and you have a file which is at 3, this one, git stash, apply, paste, enter, and you got all the files whatever you had it earlier. It's simple. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to move on to the another topics which is like pull versus push versus clone versus fetch. So when you do the clone, what happens? So basically when you do the clone, there are 4 operations basically internally take place. One is git init. It create an empty repository. It create a remote reference using the git remote add. It git push, git pull, and then git merge. So these are the git fetch and then merge. Basically this is being done when you do the clone. So you don't realize it, but it happens. Okay. So now what is the difference between the git push, pull, and fetch? So now I'm going to show you what happens. So now I want to send my repository files git. Let me add everything now. Git commit -m. I did it, and now I want to push my repository to someone who is working on the remote repo. So I have to go into the remote repo, and a remote repo can be created in the different places. So here I'm on the github.com, and here I'm creating the remote repo, and this is my repository which I have created it. This is the location, and I'm going to use this path to push it. So push this URL, and which branch I want to push it? I want to push it on branch, any branch. As of now I'm into V1, but I can push it master. So I would just want to push it master, and I have pushed it master. It got successful. Now done. So you have it everything. Now you want to pull it. So before pulling you have to act like a different guy. So let me act like a different guy, and I am into the D drive. So I am going to clone it. So git clone this whole URL, same ads something like that. So I'm cloning it. So now you have it, everything is done. Now something like ads, yeah. So now I cloned it, everything you can find here, cd ads, here it is. Now I'm acting as a different guy, remember, ads. Okay, now touch some file name, git add dot git commit -m, committed. Now I'm going to push as a different guy, and this time I'm going to use origin, because command when you see that config, clone command will use one reference of the long URL and put it in the name of the origin. So now you see this long URL, they converted into the remote.origin.url. So remote.origin is the name of this guy. Origin is a shortcut for this guy. You can use it. So this name you can keep it anything. And in the first session I have talked about how can you create it. So okay. So now I'm going to use the push origin rather than putting the long URL and master. And I'm going to push into the master branch. Now I just did it, refresh it, and I got a few extra files which is here. Great. Now I'm going to act like another guy, which is the today_x, and I have no files actually. If we do checkout master, I'm working in the V1 branch. So if I do check out the master, you should be having the file dd.adsd.ffd. So this file is not there. So what do? You pull it. So you pull it and origin master. But origin is not there here. Why? Because I did not set it. The origin will be created automatically by the clone commands, but here you have to create it. So remote add and name is origin. I'm going to create aliases of that my repository and then put it here. So now I created here also, and now if I type pull, cool, now I got this file here. So this is the way you can do the push and pull and work with the different people. Now what is the fetch? What is the fetch? So fetch is a command. Basically git pull is equal to git fetch plus git merge. So what happens here is, in the Git, how they talk to each other. So you have a local repository, and it's a remote repository that in our case it is a GitHub. Okay, so now what happens here? You have a two kind of branches, as I said, local branch and remote branch. Local branch is always read and write, and that's the reason you are able to do add, delete, remove, rename, everything, branching, merging. But remote branch is the copy of your remote repository. Okay, so there you cannot write anything. Okay, remote branch is the copy of your remote repository, which is a GitHub in our case. Okay, here this is only read only, you cannot copy. So whenever you do the pull, so basically this guy get it from here and merge to the remote branches, and then from here merge to the local branches. So this thing is getting called as a fetch, and this thing is getting called as a merge. So whenever you do this pull, basically fetch and merge has happened. So now I am going to show you the same thing using the visualization. So now let me open up my another tab, git bash. Yeah, so now I'm into one branch which is today X. You can see it here, master branch. Now I am going into D drive and I am going into another guys which is ASD, something like that. So now I'm into the two different repository acting like a two different guy, ASD today X. So now what I do, I am going to touch git add, git commit -m. Okay, and the file name I'll make it this time meaningful, Rajesh. Enter. Done. So remember, I did Rajesh here and the file is not still here, so I have to push it. So let me push it, git push origin master. I just pushed it, refresh it, it got into the remote repo. Now I am acting like a different guy. I don't have this file. So now what I have to do, either I have to fetch it and merge it, two commands, or together pull it. Now I'm going to do that fetching. So do git fetch origin master. And remember the file name is Rajesh. I see that something has come, but I cannot see in this local repository. So where this has gone? So basically this has gone to the remote branch, and which we can see it. This is my remote branch. Here you want to check it out, remote branch, and then see if that file Rajesh has come or not. Here it is. And now if you do ls, Rajesh has come. But if you check out the master branch, still that file is not here. Okay, there's no file Rajesh. So how do we do that? Now we're going to merge it. So merge with the remote branch. And so git merge remote branch. And command was wrong. Sorry about that. Yeah, now Rajesh has come. So this is the difference between the git merge, fetch, pull, and push and clone. Is it clear? Is it clear? Any question, guys?
Rajesh, when we do fetch, so it always brings to the remote repository.
Yes, it always. So let me redraw this figure one more time, because in this we have a local repo and we have a remote repo. And as I told you, we have two kind of branches. One is local branches, another one is remote branches. Local branch is always read and write. Remote branch is only read only. So once you do that, you push it, then it goes to this place. Pushing. Okay. And after that it goes to this place. Once you pull it, then this come to this place, and after that this come to this place. From here it called fetching. And from here this called merging. So in what situation you do this fetching? So in simple, if you're working on something and you don't want to merge the remote repos objects with the working directory, then you should fetch it, keep it with you in local remote branch, but you should not merge it. And once you're done with all the work, whatever you're supposed to do, and you're sure, okay, let me check it out, what has other people have done it meanwhile. So you do that fetch, check out, see the branches. If everything is clean, merge it with the local, and you're good with it. Or if you're very much confident, like other people are doing the good work, and then you can directly, and that those works will not impact your local changes, then go ahead and do the pull. Simple. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So with this, I'm going to wrap it up this session. There's two commands which I have not talked about it: git rebase and git reset. So what these two commands, I have a sufficient information in my PPT, and here is this the one, reset. There are three kind of reset which I'm going to talk about, like soft reset and mixed reset and hard reset, and I have a pictorial diagrams as well. I would like you to try at your home. If you have any further question, you can ask me in tomorrow's session. And rebase also, I have a good amount of information here. This is the rebase with a pictorial diagram and explanation. And try it out in your home. Do let me know if you have any question, and let's meet up tomorrow.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOps School channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.